Deputy Assistant Secretary of State during the Obama administration. So, Joel, as you know, we've been here before, where it seems like the sides have gotten closer, and you have visits like CIA Director Burns going to the region. Typically, he won't go unless he feels like he could bring the sides together. But then hopes are dashed. I mean, do you feel that this moment is different and the sides are actually closer?
Yeah, Jim, I'm cautiously optimistic. Look, there's a bit of a Groundhog Day, clearly. We have seen these kinds of close calls before, but the dynamics are different now in that there is pressure from the outside in a manner that we haven't quite seen. There's coming up in a few weeks, Bibi Netanyahu will be here in the United States, so he has to have some kind of deliverable that he can bring. Internally inside Israel, the IDF wants a ceasefire, wants to see a process to get the hostages back and consolidate the wins in Gaza. And then Hamas is, as you point out, coming to the table with some new changes and adjustments. So they're going to meet in Doha, and on Wednesday, all four parties that negotiate to then talk to Hamas are going to get together. And my understanding is that there's cautious optimism, but these are hard negotiations.
What has changed from Netanyahu's perspective? Because there has been a read even inside Israel that he wants to extend the war. Is it because the Israeli military is saying they need a pause now?
A couple of things are going on. First and foremost is that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, they understand that they have a threat from the north in Hezbollah. They do not want to spend all of their time focused on Gaza. They want to see it stabilized. They are concerned about the day after scenario, about what comes next. Benny Gantz left the war cabinet. He's a centrist leader because of those concerns. And then also they're realizing that getting the hostages out is going to require the same effort that they had in November, which is a negotiated exit of these hostages.
And there's enormous political pressure from inside Israel, including from hostage families and protesters. I want to play some sound from one of those protesters in Jerusalem this weekend.
We came here today to get our voices heard. We want to say that we want our brothers and sisters that are hostage in Gaza back home. We want this crazy, insane war to end. We want elections now so we have a new leadership that really cares about us.
I mean, one of the most powerful voices, frankly, beyond the protesters, of course, is the hostage families. Right. And we've spoken to a lot of them on this network, certainly. But Netanyahu has resisted that pressure for a number of months. Does he feel that the pressure has reached some sort of breaking point for him?
Well, he's resisted the pressure, clearly, but at the same time, the reality is that the number one way to get a significant number of hostages out is a negotiated agreement. We saw that back in November. That consistently stays as the model. A few hostages have been freed from military action, but there was a huge cost in civilian lives alongside that. And I think the Israeli Defense Forces, they understand that this is what is needed. And the pressure from inside Netanyahu's coalition, while hard on the hard right, he will have a cushion from the left if he chooses to go forward with the deal, which he might be threatened from his far right. But I think the Israeli public, broadly speaking, would support some kind of agreement.
And listen, some of the Israeli hostages have been killed by Israeli military action. How about Hamas's position here? Because there's also been a read that it's in Hamas's interest to extend the fighting, despite the enormous loss of life among Palestinian civilians.
Look, Hamas is not fighting this to save Palestinian lives. My view all along on this is that Hamas has been very comfortable in seeing Palestinian casualties continue if they believe that creates pressure on Israel. But the cost is so high, the Palestinian people are suffering so much, and there is real pressure coming from our allies, from Egypt, from Qatar, from around the region, to tell Hamas that this is the time to pull back. We see Hamas under duress inside of Gaza, and they know it's going to continue. No agreement means continued pressure, continued action. It may cause casualties at a level, again, that perhaps it will influence them. But really, at the end of the day, this is a window. The window is narrowing right now for an agreement. Very close.
And there's even been some public criticism in Gaza of Hamas, which is a courageous thing to do, given how Hamas deals with its critics. I want to ask about President Biden's role here, because the Biden administration, certainly, and Biden himself, have been hugely invested in these negotiations here. Of course, Biden facing his own political crisis here at home. From the administration's perspective, how important would a deal, would they view a deal as a sort of a victory for Biden's leadership?
I mean, this could be a tremendous validation of the president's policy in the region. He has been pursuing this for the past couple of months, this multi-stage agreement. It's not just a one-off. It's not a hostage exchange type of arrangement solely. It's about stabilizing Gaza for the long run. It's about providing security for Israel. It's about preventing counterinsurgency and bringing security and stability to the Palestinian people as well. This would provide significant win for the president and for American foreign policy across the region, which desperately needs to see some kinds of positive momentum.
Yeah, they've certainly invested a lot of diplomatic capital in this. Joel Rubin, thanks so much.
Jim.